If you're here, you should know that there are gonna be tons of juicy spoilers for Alien Romulus. So there goes your spoiler warning. Now that that's been taken care of, probably the most intriguing part of Alien Romulus was the last few minutes of the movie with the Offsping, a xenomorph, human, and engineer hybrid that was given birth by Kay, the sister of the male lead Tyler, assuming that the synthetic Andy was not the lead. But the thing is, Kay does not reveal who knocked her up, and when Rain asks her about it, Kay only mentions that the father was a jerk, for the lack of a better word. I mean, the YouTube monetization gods are watching us with their strict eyes, so we can't exactly say the word she used, but it starts with A and has something to do with holes. I'm sure you will join the dots. So, who is the father? Well, I won't drag this out any further. It was Bjorn who planted his seed in her and ruined her life. Quite literally so. Oh, and he was Kay's cousin, so director Fede Alvarez pretty much pulled a Game of Thrones here. But what are the implications of this relationship? How does it affect the film? And can anyone hear you bang bang in space? Let's find out. But before I begin, I have a very small request. If you like our content, please consider subscribing to us. It may be a small click for you, but it helps us in a million ways to bring you these marvelous videos. And now, let's begin. How do we know Bjorn is the father of Kay's child? Well, a user on Reddit posted, right before Bjorn's death, he and Kay share a moment where they touch each other in a very intimate way. Am I the only one who thought this was a sign that Bjorn is the jerk who got her pregnant? To this question, Fede Alvarez commented that it was a good catch and Bjorn is actually the father. Funny thing is, Reddit thought this person who confirmed the speculation was pretending to be Fede Alvarez and banned him. So yeah, the director of Alien Romulus was banned from Reddit for pretending to be the director of Alien Romulus. I'm not sure if the ban has been lifted while this script is being written, but I hope sense prevails. Nevertheless, the fact that Bjorn is the father adds certain layers to the kind of society that the Alien universe sustains. Although not unknown in the real world, incest is a part of this universe too. It only means that the franchise and Alvarez's vision are grounded in reality. Some hardcore right-wingers might want to say that whatever happened to Kay and her baby was a result of this unholy union, cousins. However, motherhood and pregnancy have been very important themes of the franchise since the beginning. Which brings me to my next question. How was Kay's pregnancy deemed to backfire? I mean, since the 1979 original by Ridley Scott, and letting us know in the first act that Kay was pregnant was a sign that things were gonna spiral down for her by the third act, and that's what happened. It's basically a storytelling device called Chekhov's gun. According to this device, if a gun is shown mounted on a wall in a film's first act, it is deemed to be fired by the last act. Likewise, a small and rather unimportant detail, like Kay's pregnancy, became the heart and soul of the last act. Actually, let's not use the term heart and soul, let's just stick to, the crux of the last act. The first movie had an overarching villain in the form of Mother, the AI commanding the Nostromo. In James Cameron's movie, which basically turned the Alien franchise into a pan-American household name, was Ripley and Newt's mother-daughter-like relationship, which resonated in their encounter with the Xenomorph Queen and Ripley killing her brood. Even in the later Alien movies like Covenant and Prometheus, this theme never leads to anything good. For instance, Elizabeth Shaw's pregnancy. So the point I'm trying to make is that if we see another such incident in a later Alien production, we should know what to expect. What really happened to Kay and her baby? So Kay was pregnant and only Rain knew. Her brother Tyler was completely in the dark. When Tyler finally finds out, it's too late. A xenomorph drone drags Kay off to be cocooned. But later, Rain, Tyler, and Andy find Kay alive, though she's badly injured. The Xeno had impaled her with its tail, leaving her bleeding out, a brutal but effective way of avoiding becoming a chestburster host. Rain manages to get Kay to the Corbelan while she goes back for Andy, who was also in rough shape. Kay, fearing she'd die, was more concerned about her unborn child, wanting to give them a better life. With vials of black goo, Z01, aboard the Corbelan, Kay injects herself, desperate for its rumored life-giving properties. At first, no horrifying mutations show up. When Rain returns, she places Kay in a cryopod, but just as she's about to enter her own, alarms start blaring. Rain opens Kay's pod only to find her now heavily pregnant and giving birth to an ovomorph-like creature, basically the eggs that hatch facehuggers. The offspring grows rapidly, with an incubation period of just minutes. As Rain tries to remove it, the egg turns acidic and starts hatching. What emerges is a humanoid creature that escapes into the Corbelan's cargo hold. It's clear that Alvarez combined the three main species of the alien universe: xenomorph, engineer, and human. K, a human, birthed an ovomorph like a xenomorph queen, and the hybrid that emerged had the proboscis, metallic skeleton, and acidic blood of an alien, the strength and height of an engineer, all wrapped in a human-like curiosity. Afterward, the creature continued to evolve and transform. What happened to K's baby at the end? K ultimately doesn't survive. No one could endure a xenomorph's proboscis feeding on. When Rain returns, she struggles against the monster's strength, but eventually manages to eject the creature into space, where it was pummeled by tons of sand and gravel. Surprisingly, the Offspring survives the vacuum of space and being thrown into Jackson's ring. Whether it actually died remains unclear, as it took damage that would kill other xenomorphs but was only barely defeated. Unlike other xenomorphs, whose heads exploded with their acidic blood floating around Renaissance Station, the Offspring's fate is uncertain. It might have been killed off-screen, but there's no confirmation. If the Offspring is still alive, Weyland-Yutani would definitely want it. They spent years hunting for the Nostromo and its alien, and they succeeded. If this creature survived, Weyland-Yutani could again try to play God. The Offspring inherited many traits from xenomorphs, and we know they can survive in space. So it's not far-fetched to think the Offspring might survive too. If that's the case, it's not just a one-time villain. Its introduction likely sets the stage for more mutated creatures, potentially turning a branch of humanity into its own worst enemy. This hybrid could have dangerous traits like the xenomorph's acidic blood. While traditional xenomorphs are deadly pack hunters, the hybrid is ruthlessly efficient and seems to enjoy hunting, especially when targeting Rain. Originating from more intelligent creatures, the hybrid could be a more strategic and cerebral threat. With the compound that created it still on the ship carrying Rain and wounded Andy, this new xenomorph Offspring, or its variations, could easily return as a recurring villain in the alien universe. What happened to Bjorn at the end? Upon arriving at Romulus and Remus, Bjorn boards the ship with Tyler and Andy. He humorously suffers the most, constantly being thrown into awkward positions due to the ship's shifting artificial gravity. They find the cryopods they need for their journey, but realize there's not enough energy for the 9-year trip, so they have to search for cryofuel. During the search, Bjorn harshly reveals to Andy that Rain never planned to bring him along, likely because Ivaga doesn't allow synthetics. The group eventually finds cryofuel, but gets trapped in a lab full of facehuggers. Bjorn and Tyler fight them off, while Navarro and Rain rush to help. They use a chip from an old synthetic to reboot Andy, who manages to free them from the lab. Unfortunately, a facehugger attaches itself to Navarro. They revive the old synthetic Rook, who explains the xenomorph's biology. Despite their efforts, including using cryofuel to remove the facehugger, Rook informs them that it's too late for Navarro. When killing her is suggested, Bjorn angrily takes her back to the Corbelan, leaving the others behind. Navarro's fate is sealed when a newborn xenomorph bursts from her chest, killing her. Bjorn is knocked out as the Corbelan shifts across Remus, destroying its rocket. The team docks on Romulus, with Bjorn becoming increasingly delirious. He learns of Navarro's death, but presses on, encountering Kay, who has just discovered a xenomorph cocoon. Bjorn tries to kill the creature with a long stick taser he found earlier, but it barely affects the creature. It retaliates, stabbing him in the eye with its tail. As he falls beneath it, its acidic blood drips onto him, leading to his slow and painful death. The most intriguing aspect of Bjorn being the father of Kay's child is that it could explain why the usually not-so-nice Bjorn would willingly sacrifice himself for Kay. Kay was his cousin, sure, but she was much more than that to him. She was the mother of his own child, and by trying to protect her, he was also trying to protect his unborn child. That is assuming that he knew about her pregnancy, which is never really revealed in the movie. So he could have shared that intimate moment before death because he loved Kay romantically. But either way, it makes perfect sense that saving his family would be his top priority because he had lost his family when he was fairly young. Be it his future wife or simply a cousin, Bjorn still considered Kay family. And if you liked our content, please leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, everybody.